Hey there, my star friends. It's Francesca from Consciousful Tarot. Thank you so much for tuning into my YouTube channel and clicking on this video. Today, I'm going to be making a forecast prediction video for the full moon in Sagittarius. So it is also known as the strawberry moon because the moon is going to be significantly close to planet Earth, as we'll be able to see it very brightly and very big. So the main highlights, the theme, and the way that this full moon is going to affect us can be summed up into a few words, as this full moon is going to reveal our emotional needs and where our emotional needs are not being met. The theme of the full moon in Sagittarius is becoming in alignment with divine's will, so submitting to God's plan, in other words. When it comes to divine's and God's plan for our lives, this full moon is going to help us reconstruct our destiny in ways that are better, healthier, and stable for us, a path that's more connected to our purpose. And this will include things revolving around career, belief systems, your faith, relationships, and the way you handle money. This is going to bring upon a lot of passion and desire regarding the way we approach our life and purpose. This full moon is also going to highlight to find the remedy to a long-running problem. And also, you're going to feel like it's going to be okay to make changes that will bring you peace. In fact, you're going to recognize that at one point, something once worked for you, but it's okay to change it if it doesn't work for you anymore. So this can be a job, a habit, a belief system, a relationship. So at this time, you're going to realize that you're going to be able to accept that things don't work anymore as they once did, and being okay with making those changes. This full moon is also going to help you bring grip to the current state of the world and understand the implications of the greater world dynamic and how they have an influence on us. So the global issues revolving around injustices, our financial system, COVID policies, etc. But we're also going to begin to learn to detach from these implications and not allow it to hijack our peace or our emotional well-being. This full moon is also going to be an important time for personal development, as the harsh Sagittarius energies are going to kind of give us that push in order to make us uncomfortable. Sometimes self-development and personal development is uncomfortable in the beginning, but it has long-term benefits. So you're going to realize that you're going to have the urge or the knee kick to go towards things that are going to help you evolve and be repelled by things such as instant gratification, stagnation, or numbing. It's going to be super important for you to check in with yourself and your values, your philosophy, your belief systems, and people that are around you. It's going to be super important to also check with your financial status and your career and where you're currently at and where you want to be in the future. It's also going to be super important for you to assess these things and be honest with yourself. Be very direct with others when it comes to setting boundaries, and be very casual when it comes to making these changes. You don't want to over exaggerate the changes that lead to you suffering or lead to some explosive scenario, right? You also want to understand that now you don't want to take things out of context for yourself. You also want to touch ground with your purpose and realize where you were potentially stuck in some sort of delusion or illusion of granderness. Especially when it comes to money. In the past few months, a lot of the cosmic influences were kind of keeping us in this circle of illusions and not really seeing the bigger picture of our lives. But now we're kind of like cracking that illusion open. And since the new moon in Taurus a month ago, we're able to now realize that what God was once telling us, what divine was once telling us was true. And now we're able to kind of get into alignment with that. This full moon in Sagittarius is kind of going to help us burn off the unneeded and excessive thoughts of being obsessed with something or being obsessed with possessing something, such as, past or future. We're going to be able to not be so fixated on perfectionism. It's going to help us deal with old attachments in a much lighter way. So we'll be able to release old attachments. And that's going to help us make way for a new things that we want to attract, new action-orientated, tangible things that are going to be less restrictive on our growth, because it does appear as though in the last, lunar eclipse season, which was like May-ish, end of April, we were in the midst of needing to release a lot of restrictions. Like it was like divine and God were whispering in our ear, telling us, hey, we need to make a massive change, but we didn't know how to quite make that change until now. We're finally recognizing that we have the audacity to break free. We have the courage to be independent and self-reliant. We have the beliefs that are connected to the action we want to take, right? In order to create a new experience for ourselves. The full moon in Sagittarius is also going to help us develop an applicable path for us that's going to determine where we move forward in our future. It's going to help us also highlight what's viable and what's going to help us in the long run, and also what's just momentary satisfaction or temporary. So this is going to help us also develop the awareness and the clarity of what we need to cut out in order to grow a healthy garden for ourselves, in other words. So that's like the main emphasis and theme of the full moon. And the main significance and effects you're going to be feeling is, it feels as though you're going to be entering like a doorway into the next stage of your life, revolving around transformation. This full moon is going to be so significant, and is so significant because right around the corner is the summer solstice, which is on the 21st. So this full moon is the last full moon before the summer solstice, which is super imperative when it comes to transformation and expansion. This full moon, in fact, gives us an opportunity to reset and return back to our divine light, to recapture who we truly are. And it's also going to help us remember our divine destiny, which can help us like recapture ourselves, right? And these ideas, right, or this feeling of recapturing our divine light and our destiny are going to come through forms of ideas, inspiration, dreams, downloads, right? Like intuitive prompts. But it's going to be important for you to let go a part of yourself that wants to play small. So that's going to be a huge effect, that you're going to feel as though you're being pushed out of your comfort zone to not play small anymore, to be in a space where, you're going to want to dream bigger. You're going to want to show up for yourself in ways that you never have before. You're going to want to reflect where you are now and where you want to go next. Another huge effect that you're going to be feeling during this full moon is recalibration. So you're going to be recapturing your joy and your bliss, which is going to connect you to your core truth by unpeeling the mask that you've been wearing to yourself and others. And in return, this is going to recalibrate you with your bliss. But sometimes facing your bliss is triggering because you have to remove the layers that kind of you put in between yourself to not feel your bliss. And sometimes, you can avoid things in order to feel your bliss, such as numbing, distraction, etc. But it's going to be important to look at the bigger picture and understand, in order to get to your bliss, you're going to have to unpeel the layers that are blocking your bliss. And then the 3 steps that you could actually do in order to fully enter this recalibration stage and fully embody the full moon and Sagittarius energies is, number 1, to support your vibration through positive thoughts and that are focused and trusted on the bigger vision. So using the law of assumption in this case. So focusing on, expanding your business, even though your business is just starting. Being successful in a relationship, even though it's rocky. Believing that you're going to be able to move to another state, even though you're still in your state. The law of assumption tricks your brain into thinking that you already have what you don't currently have in the physical world. So using that can be a good hack to actually calibrate you, right? Another step that you can do to raise your vibration during this Sagittarius full moon is allowing your emotions to pass through you instead of you allowing your emotions to move you, right? So close your eyes and just imagine you in the midst of a hurricane, right? And you want to stabilize yourself so groundedly and so grounded to the earth that the storm doesn't take you. Imagine that storm being your emotions, and you just allow the storm to pass and you keep yourself grounded, focused on staying planted on the ground. That is what you need to do during this time. When the triggers emerge, because they will emerge, you allow them to pass by. When the problems occur with other people, because they will occur, you allow the triggers to go by. Don't allow yourself to get carried away by the storm, because once the storm passes, you're going to be stable. And that's when you can co-create. That's when you're going to keep a high vibration, and that's when you can keep it moving. Number 3 that you could do to raise your vibration during this full moon is reclaim your power by taking inspired action in order to accomplish your divine destiny. So with the positive thoughts, you have to align it with a action in order to recreate a new personal reality for yourself. So ultimately, the next effect that you're going to feel after this recalibration is the releasing and the purging, which is typically the theme of a full moon, since the full moon is all about releasing, endings, completions of cycles that we once put a lot of energy into, but now it's being completed, right? So this releasing and purging is going to come in the face of us facing our shadows, our fears, our insecurities, and needing to dive deep into them in order to heal and resolve the lessons, right? Integrate the lessons to turn the page. This is going to come in the theme of personal relationship issues, right? Challenging your beliefs, challenging your destiny, challenging your next step, questioning your career, questioning your legacy, questioning your next route, right? Questioning yourself if you're being honest with yourself about the changes you need to make. So that's going to be something that's going to be coming up during this full moon, and it's going to be important for you to let go of things in the past and stop the cycle of havoc that it's been creating. So the old insecurities, the old limited beliefs, the old confusion, the old relationships that just keep replaying trauma in your life that need to be released, right? So you can give gratitude for the past, but forgive, but let go. And forgive the past to make way for divine light, for the potential possibilities that lie before you. And as you do this, you're going to allow these stagnated beliefs or this stagnated life that you've created for yourself, this stagnated emotional state, you're going to replace it with light consciousness. You're going to replace it with love. You're going to replace it with purpose, with something that actually fulfills you, not just remaining in something out of comfort or out of conformity or conditioning, right? So those are the main effects. And the last main effect is really going to be, you recognizing that you need to seek greater horizons for yourself. You know, the full moon in Sagittarius is going to open the doors to like a new frontier, a new chapter in our lives that's going to expand us into our destined life, like legit. And, you know, there's going to be a lot of themes of you needing to strengthen your body, strengthen your legs, right? Strengthen your thighs, take care of your liver, right? There's going to be a lot of emphasis on needing to also be very direct with yourself, deepen the connection with others by being extroverted, being honest. And some things that I do want to mention is that during this time, it's going to be a good time to pay attention to your own red flags. In which areas are you exaggerating, right? In which areas are you overindulgent? In which areas are you tactless? In what areas in your life are you irresponsible, right? So this time is also going to be super important to deepen your connection with higher consciousness, higher mind, religion, teaching, higher education, right? Expanding your intellectual framework. And as you do this, you're going to connect with like-minded individuals that are actually going to be part of your destiny. So during this full moon, you could wear the color red. I definitely recommend red jasper, indigo. I also recommend bloodstone crystals, any red crystals that call your attention, any crystals that are ruled by Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. You're also going to want to consume clove and mint, as that's going to increase your vibration. And ultimately, the main message is to look at the bigger picture, to understand that things are playing behind the scenes that you may not be aware about, but they are being transpired, and things are unfolding for you. So you may need to be confident in what's to come, even though it's not here. You may need to also create some sort of balance within your mind. Maybe also take an adventure, take a mini break, go seek new endeavors, new areas of the world, right? Take a journey within yourself, take a little mushroom. If you're not into mushrooms or psychedelics, you could always do astral projection, get deep into the subconscious mind. This is a good time for that. So to finalize this full moon reading, I just want to ask you guys, I want you guys to ask yourselves some prompt questions. And the main questions here are you pursuing the right thing? That can apply to everything in your life. Are you pursuing the right thing? You could also ask yourself, what is my greater cause in what I'm doing? Right? What does my current blank yield for me? So what does my current job yield for me? What does my current relationship yield for me? What does my current belief system yield for me? You also want to ask yourself, where am I growing? Where are my efforts shining? And where am I flourishing? And where I'm not flourishing? If you're thinking about taking an alternative path, how will that play out for you, and what will you attain from that? So those are the main questions that you should ask yourself during this time in order to intellectualize these energies. You're also going to see things transpire for you very miraculously. So sudden good fortune, sudden events transpiring that are actually going to benefit you to take a new route in life, to take a new direction in your life, whether it's job, relationships, belief, etc. You're also going to see events where everything you've kind of like been manifesting or wanting, right, is going to suddenly appear. And then you're just going to like be so shook on what to do with it. So there's going to be events like that where you're going to be kind of like starstruck with your reality, but recognize that you need to leave the old behind in order to enter this new phase, right? So it's going to be a good time to play the lottery. It's going to be a good time to also take a risk with a new job, with the new person, or reestablishing a new foundation with your career, with your relationships. You're also going to see how your beliefs revolving around world issues are going to be altered. So old beliefs may be challenged in the sense where you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone to, do research or, connect your own philosophy with your current beliefs and infuse your philosophy with your new beliefs. So you're going to be seeing things revolving around that. Sudden travel trips are also expected during this time, like suddenly wanting to travel, suddenly getting invited to travel. You're also going to be feeling a huge sense of like wanting to like move your feet. So whether this is like you picking up a new habit, like climbing, running, doing more cardio, there's going to be themes around that. And last, I am seeing that there's going to be major themes when it also comes to like on a global level, institutions of hierarchy potentially changing their methods of business. Seeing individuals in hierarchy changing their philosophies, right? Major companies and institutions of power altering the way that they do business. So for the good and the bad. And this is going to create lots of global change, and it's going to make personal change as a result. So that finalizes my full moon in Sagittarius reading and forecast. If you guys would like a personal reading or Reiki healing, you can go to consciousfultarot.com. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a clairsentient tarot reader, and I'm also a level 2 Reiki master. I specialize in love, relationships, career and finances, spiritual and life path. I also do personal coaching, and overall I give general step-by-step guidance with life-altering knowledge. And I also do Reiki healings that can assist in major ascension and elevation and recalibration of the chakras. My most popular Reiki healing is my Love Reiki healing. And you can check me out on Instagram and TikTok as well. And stay tuned for future videos. Thank you so much. Alrighty, take care, guys.